Everybody welcome AZD, Aras Apart, motherfucking D-Bazaar. And this is IMC Nation, International Mastermind Council Worldwide. We're about to get started with about 20 to 25 minutes of a free worldwide lecture on the topic of the mind and relationships, and just that's really it, because everything is that, okay? And then I'm going to go into a class for the men. Today's an exciting day. From there, I'm going to go to an advanced class. And then at 3 today, I'm doing a lecture for the women, and it's going to blow their goddamn mind. So that's the lecturing days of today. Anyways, let's get started reading from this incredible book. It's only $9.95, $100. No, it's $9.95, called Breathing Truth. Let's see what you think. Here we go. You can never be smarter to other people than their own ability to grasp intelligence. You can never be any kinder or nicer to others than their ability to be able to feel and understand your kindness. You can never be more loyal to others than their ability to believe in loyalty. Right? Someone doesn't believe in loyalty, doesn't matter how loyal you are. Thus, you may be great in many, many ways, but you are acknowledged only to the degree that those around you can be great enough to see it. Now, that is one of the biggest lessons I've ever learned in this life, okay? I've been saying the same thing for a very long time. In fact, if you find out when this book was written, it sounds like I said it today. But I can tell you it's more than 6 years ago. How's that? Definitely more than 6 years ago. No, way more than 6 years. I'm just saying for sure more than 6 years ago, right? More than 10 years ago. It's a decade old at least, this book. Okay? Now, today I could teach class with the book. Why? Because I wrote the book and I'm saying the same things. Now, ready? Today, you can hear it way better than if you'd have heard it 10 years ago. Okay? Those are facts. The person who's leading, right? And now I'm talking to men, because if you're a man, you're going to have to lead a relationship, right? The person who's leading can only lead up to the ability and the willingness of the follower. Right? You can be the greatest leader, you can be the greatest general in the world, but your soldiers are not willing to go to war. They're not willing to be led. They're not willing to listen. You can be a great basketball player. You can be a great basketball coach, the greatest that ever lived. But the people you're coaching are not willing to be coached. They think they already know it, or they have a better idea. Okay? You could be the greatest anything you are. But the moment you deal with somebody else, you're no longer dealing with yourself. And that's what you have to understand. You see, the problem is you're going around all day dealing with yourself, right? We went out last night and we had a good time. And when we came back, some of the guys were beating themselves up. Okay? The event was over. We went out. They were dealing with themselves. Okay? They were dealing with themselves. And just like you, many of you, inside is the greatest enemy you have ever seen. Now, I don't have that, just so you know. I've overcome that, transcended that, and I have a whole process that will get rid of that for you on so many levels, over and over. It just keeps going. It never stops. It's like here's some questions. How beautiful can a person get? Is there a limit? How powerful can a person get? How wealthy can a person get? How high could a creature jump? Where is the cap that we put? We put the cap at the one that did it the highest and measured. But we don't know the potential. We can begin to measure the potential by doing other mathematics of the body. That it has this much in it, this much in it. And so it looks like it has way more potential than it's doing. And then we see people like Wim Hof, who swim under the ice and beat disease and things like that. We see David Goggins, who overcomes all kinds of physical stuff. And we keep seeing people. And now it's time for you to see AZD, who's overcome all of the problems you have as a man when it comes to a woman, and all the problems you have as a woman when you deal with a man, because I don't have those problems, right? Now, that's kind of crazy. It's too much to measure. Let's go back to that beginning of that book, okay? Your intelligence can only be measured by the people in front of you who can measure intelligence to the degree they can. Your kindness and your loyalty can only be measured to the degree they can feel loyalty and kindness. Okay, I could sit in front of a 6-year-old and give her quantum physics or calculus or algebra. They're not going to get it. It doesn't discredit algebra and quantum physics. Now, ready? What level do you think the people around you are? Unless they're IMC Nation. If they're not IMC Nation, and what I mean IMC Nation, hear me out again. It means you have to be here. All right? Just like you're not a basketball player in the Chicago Bulls, if you wear their jersey, if you pay for their tickets, you're not on the team. Right? You are a fan. Now, I would like every man watching me to know right now the truth about you. You're a fanboy until you get here. And you should admit it. Right? I am a celebrity to you. You are my fan, just like a little girl you are. Just like a little girl, okay? But you're not in the game with me. And I'm playing a game of life. And I'm playing in a very particular field. And I'm recruiting for my team. And I've been recruiting. And there's some here. Okay? And my team is the toughest team to be on the planet, because I'm number one at what I do. And I stay number one. And I will to the end. You watching me are watching like the person watching football or basketball or fighting. But you're not involved. Right? You're not involved in it. Nick Diaz is going to be fighting soon at the UFC 310. Okay? December 7th, I think, or December 10th, one of those. Okay? If you're watching it and you're not a fighter, you can be a fan of the UFC. You can be a fan of whatever. If you're a fighter, you watch it differently. Now, there's different levels of fighters. You get to a point where our other friend here, Martin, they're training partners, Martin Santos and Nick Diaz. Shout out to both of them, right? The Diaz camp. They're training partners. Now, I'm sure if Martin's watching it, because he's traded punches and kicks over and over with this guy, right? When that guy wins, this guy's hand goes up too differently, the energy. It was the training, the blood, sweat, tears. Remember that? He's part of the team. He's part of the team. So is AZD and IMC Nation. We're part of the team. Now, when I said IMC Nation, you're not. You're a fan of IMC Nation. You're a spectator of IMC Nation, and you pay for tickets to show up and watch the IMC Nation show. And just like you can watch a basketball game, a football game, and be inspired to go play better basketball, go and have more energy or even be like more dedicated to your basketball game, you are not on the team. And people have to recognize there's teams, there's families, there's friends, there's enemies, there's acquaintances, there's strangers. These terms, they all mean different things, okay? And you right now, you have to, and I want you to name yourself, because I'm going to tell you something. I would hate to be a fanboy. All right? I'm just telling you. If I ever found a teacher that was alive, right, that I became a fan of, I reached everything I had to make sure they know me and I know them. And I've done it with every single person except Michael Singer, but that wasn't necessary with him. When the energy moved over there, the guy who wrote the Absurd Experiment, by the time my movement, go ahead, make some calls and figure out where he's at and all this other shit, by the time that happened, I was way more powerful than him, so it didn't matter. There was no longer any need to study his technology. His technology was junior to AZD and IMC Nation technology. And how do I know that? Because I can see, just like you can see, right? And just like Eckhart Tolle, you could be in present time, but you may lack a lot of energy, just like Eckhart Tolle. You may look like standing up from here and going to the bathroom and everywhere else is like a sloth, right? So we have to keep this in mind. Why? Because the sloth is also in present time. You seen a sloth move in the wild? I saw it fighting the other day. It literally fights like this. Anyway, so a sloth is in present time. A sloth is natural. A sloth is just being a sloth, okay? A lion is also in present time. A lion is just being a lion. Got it? Go ahead and study Eckhart Tolle and turn into a sloth. How do you know? Look at him. Study AZD and turn into a lion. How do you know? Look at me. End of story. Look. Look and you'll see. Open your eyes. Now, I'm not looking for fanboys. I'll tell you why. Because when it's time to play the game, no fanboy ever shot a basketball or shed one tear or sweat on the court with me. The gay guys will cry over there when the team loses, right? If I was a woman, I was ever with a guy who got extremely emotional over some sports, who he didn't play that sport or wasn't involved in it, I would have to break up with him right away. That would be the end of the story. That would be the end of the game. Why? Because that's insanity that he would associate himself so greatly with strangers who would walk past him and spit on him. Right? I definitely don't want my son to grow up like that. What kind of a boy is that going to be? That's going to be stupid. Now, I understand women are different, okay? But women also don't lead for that reason. They can't lead. Women are fans. They're receptive. They're the yin, the yang. Yin. They're the yin, right? The energy of life that's receptive. To receive, you got a football, someone's throwing it, someone's a receiver. The receiver is the one that catches the ball, never throws the ball. So a woman's energy is receptive, catching, right? Thus, nature made her physical body, her sexual organ goes in to receive. Male energy is yang. It's forward. It goes that way. It's direct and straight ahead. It's designed to go out and emanate, push forward energy. Thus, it made the male body with a penis that goes out and shoots. It literally shoots its weapon while the female catches. If you want to know the code of life, you look at life. End of story. You don't read a book. If you read a book of a person who you could see. The moment that you and I had a video of Jesus doing anything he did, the entire world would change if there was one. Because we don't know, and that's the facts. The facts is we don't know. Okay? And that's the end of it. But if we do see it, now comes what? The trickery and the questioning, because we could see Chris Angel, the magician, fly and walk through walls and walk on water. David Blaine, some high-level magicians, right? We see it, but we don't believe it. Why is it that we don't believe it? Very simple. One who could do something can do it all the time. Then doesn't need lights and tricks for it. You understand? It's just the way it is. For example, if a man is a celebrity and he claims to have a lot of women and be able to get women, right? Can he do that all the time? Or is it when he is at a concert and he's recognized? That's not called getting women. That's called being a great singer and women being attracted to that fame and whatever the prestige that it has. They're not the same thing. And so we've messed things up. A man could have a lot of money and have no idea how to make money. Many things could happen. You get a great job. Having a job is not making money. They're not the same thing at all. Making money is creating something from nothing, making it have value, and that thing going out and people buying it. Now I can make money. I can keep making money no matter what the fuck happens. We were walking on in Las Vegas Street, or whatever, the strip where people are, and people are dancing and doing different sideshows on the street, right? And a long time ago, when I was doing martial arts and I came here with my team, IMC Academy team, we were very, very poor when it came to money. We had scrounged up our dollars to get a hotel we can all share, right? We had scrounged up our money and got a car that we could all pay for gas for. And so we traveled here to do, Mr. Universe was here and we were performing in it, the power, whatever, bodybuilding. So at the end of the night, we went out into the same streets you see. It happened to be me and 5 or 6, I think 6 of us together, all together. It was my team. I had trained the team. I put together the team, and we were here to compete, and we won, actually. First place. There's videos of that. And when we were walking the street, one of my students, he was extremely good at flipping. Okay? And I knew he could do better than those guys could do. We could all do it, but he could beat them. They're high-level guys. But what they didn't have is they didn't have what we had. That guy could flip. I could do nunchucks and jump high. That guy could spin really fast. That guy had balance. And we were a team that knew how to move together. And literally, we were doing a show for Mr. Olympia. We just happened to be walking in the street. So at some point, we needed money. So I told so-and-so to take off his hat and put it right there. I said, all right, everybody, we're going to run the beginning of our routine. Just like the first five fucking seconds to grab attention. Then you, his name was Caleb, get in the middle and do this called the gainer over and over and over. Like this flip that he kept doing over and over and over. right? And I know how to talk, and I know how to draw attention. And before you know it, we had enough money to go eat and for a hotel.
Oh, yeah.
So we did that. Not cool, right? We know how to make money using our skills. We know it's valuable, okay? I'm not interested in having fans any more than I'm interested in having a fucking job that pays the fucking bills, right? If you're not part of the team, if you're not on in the playground, if I can't pass the ball to you and you can't shoot, right? Or if you can't put a fucking screen for me while I run around you and shoot, defense or offense, if you can't rebound, if you're not doing that, you could be sitting right in the very front, like Jack Nicholson used to watch Lakers and all celebrities that go and watch these fucking games. They pay all that money to get that close, right? But they're not part of the team. That's all there is to it. To be part of the team, you have to be part of the team. You can wear the jersey all day long. Now, why am I telling you that? Because I believe if you are my fan, and you are, if you're watching, just admit it, you're as gay as you could be, okay? But you start as a fan, all right? It's okay. I'm telling you that so you can fucking get the fuck out of it, right? This is not somebody who's trying to sound really cool right now. No, okay? When this shit turns off, I live my life just like this, actually. 24 hours a day, I do this thing all the time. And that's why it's so real, and that's why I will defeat any other competitor. Because to compete with me, you'd have to do what I do, just so you know. You can't compete with me. I can only compete with me. You could imitate me. You could try to do what I do, but what I do is so unique, nobody could touch it. So I don't have a competitor, but anybody else who's doing something of helping people online, having blah, 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 outside of, I'm gonna exclude two individuals that I've seen online. One is Wes Watson. I believe he's 100% about what he says. That's all I know, okay? Whether you like what he does or not, I don't give a fuck. I believe he's 100% about what he says. And David Goggins, I believe he's 100% about what he says. And those other guys that interview David Goggins and their Navy SEALs, yeah, you remember I can hear the difference in their voice. And I bet you so could Goggins. He could see the bitch and the beast. Just like I could see the bitch and the beast over here. When a guy, hey motherfucker, let's start all over again, okay? Let's start from the very beginning. If you can't tell me how you feel and what you think, you actually have zero value in life. You have as much value as any mechanical object. But you don't have the true value of life, which is the intelligence God gave you for you to help me solve a problem in life. The way men move society forward is by men getting together and talking ideas, then acting on those ideas. And there's absolutely no other way society moves forward. And that's not a little thing to say when I say society moves forward. Why? Because if it doesn't go forward, it sure as fuck goes backwards. That's from L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology. No condition stays the same in this universe. It either goes up or down. Now from Hermes and Thoth. It's a vibrational universe. Everything is vibrating all the time, which means what? Changing all the time. And change means up or down. If it goes straight, it's not changing, is it? It's got to be it's always fluctuating something. You don't always feel great. You don't always feel bad. You're not always inspired, right? And you go, AZD, you are. No, I'm not. But I'm always something great. If I'm not inspired, I'm grateful. If I'm not grateful, I'm strong. If I'm not, I'm going to exist on the top of that line somewhere, and I don't dip. I believe one of the most disgusting behaviors I've ever seen any human being do is to degrade themselves. Take that on for a second. To speak bad about oneself lets me know you better not throw one compliment my way after that. You got that? If you degrade you, the next words of compliment coming to me are truly coming out of the garbage, and I don't eat out of the garbage. Only one who holds himself of the highest caliber and order, one who sees himself as an elite, can give me a compliment. Now, the homeless man down the street could see himself as an elite also. It doesn't make him elite. Why? Because reality is us observing and agreeing what's real. Otherwise, you just sit here and you go, well, I'm not really a man. I'm a woman. You are? Well, yeah. Why? Because I identify as a woman. Okay, well, that's just not real, though. Yeah, but that's how I feel. Yeah, but it's just not real. What do you mean real? It's real to me. It's real to you. It's not real to anybody else. Now, do you live by yourself, for yourself, on yourself every day, all that? Are you one goddamn fucking cell in the human body that just lives by itself all around? And if that's true, then you should just get the fuck away from me, if that's how you feel. Okay? We observe reality and we agree on reality. And that's why it's difficult to have conversations for you. Now, the art of communication is what you're really suffering for. You're suffering because you don't know how to communicate. So, for example, let's take that again, all right? You're only as kind as other people can see kindness, let's say, or experience it, right? Right. So here you go now, being a real nice guy, right? But what you don't understand is if I grab a cobra, right? And I start petting it, right? And I grab it to put it somewhere warm because it's cold. No matter what act of kindness, I can even feed it. I go up to a fucking cobra and I have a dead mouse in my hand. Well, I don't know if the cobra is going to attack the mouse or me in that moment, just so you know. The cobra is not going to be like, oh, damn, that's a nice offer. Just a minute ago, you were walking up and I didn't see nothing in your hand. And I was like, I'm going to fuck you up. The next moment, is that a white mouse? God damn it, AZD brings out his fucking tail. We shake hands and he goes. A lion doesn't have that. You don't negotiate with him like that. It's just not the way it goes. Because he can't, why? He can't understand what the hell is happening. You get it? You can't go up to him and say, listen, your paw's injured right now. Okay, you just got in a fight with a buffalo. We're humans. We've taken on this fucking task of helping injured animals in the wild because there's not enough of you. Right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put up this little cage to make it more comfortable for you. We'll put a little meat in there. Why don't you walk in there? We'll close the door. It's going to be about a 2-hour flight. Right? Well, accommodations paid for. And then you'll recover and we'll bring you back. Guaranteed. Okay? Lion's like, well, let me talk this out. Goes over to the female lion. Is like, hey, lady, sit down. Right? I'm going to be taking off for a second. Where are you going? Right? Is it some other bitch? Okay? It's like these humans are doing. Like, do you get like how stupid that sounds? Yeah. That's how stupid you sound when you talk to someone who doesn't get it. Just like that. Just like that. Right? Go talk business to a person, ready, who's never done business. Not studied. They're the stupidest. You ever talk to someone who studied business and never did business? Right? You know, people go hire, they go hire people who have all these degrees in business, fucking whatever, who have never started a business. You cannot even get a degree in my fucking world unless you did it. What the fuck you talking about? Okay? So people go and they accept something that's not real. And it's just not real. Listen, you are doing your best, I assume. Okay? You're doing your best, I assume. I'm going to tell you, your best is not good enough right now. How's that? Here's a self-help fucking wake up. And that's why I call you fanboys. Because in your world, I'm doing my best to learn this shit because there's value in what AZD says. You goddamn have no fucking clue how much value is in it. You couldn't fucking measure it if I gave you a telescope. Your telescope couldn't fucking reach where I'm at. Are you kidding me, bro? You're measuring it from your own perspective. For example, I like that pretty girl. That would be dope to get her. I bet you AZD could. There's no way you could even see me if you're thinking like that. Or, all right, I got this chick and, you know, I want to talk to her because, like, I want to talk to other girls, too. Bro, if I gave you the biggest telescope, if you went in the Vatican and opened their fucking dome and looked up, I'm not even there yet. You just know I exist. Why? Because there's all these other fucking planets shifting their orbits. Galaxies are shifting orbits. From celebrities to 8-figure incomes to yogi masters to you fucking name it, are shifting orbits. And you know why they're shifting orbits? Because every one of those motherfuckers that I just said, from the businessman to the yogi to the fighter, every one of those motherfuckers had to look up at one point and see the most beautiful planets circling my galaxy. And there's no way they could do it. And there's no way they still can do it. But some of them are on the team. And the ones that are on the team, right? It's very different, actually. They can see me to some degree. They're closer. And if you want to learn something, you have to see it. You have to look at it. This is why you're not getting it. You're simply getting inspired in a very entertaining way, which is nice. Okay? But you need to get on the field and play. Was it Theodore Roosevelt that talked about that? The man on the field. Who's that? Anybody know? All right, let's look up the man on the field and I'll read it. Someone can bring it up. The references that never show up but then show up in the AZD said because it's forever. Theodore Roosevelt. Look at that shit. Theodore. Can I read it?
Yeah, it says.
No, can I read it? I said. Okay, Theodore Roosevelt was who? Anybody know?
So,
He was the president of the United States. He said, "It is not the critic." You know how I know this? This was in a boxing gym that I signed up at, under Muhammad Ali's picture. So you better believe I'm gonna fucking remember Theodore Roosevelt in this saying. It was that important to them, and it's that important to me. He said, quote, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, makes mistakes, who comes short again and again, because there's no effort without error and shortcoming. Because there's no effort without error and shortcoming, which that doesn't make sense to me, but I'm gonna keep reading. Could be a misspelling in here, or grammar. But who does actually strive to do the deed. No, this is not working. Let's try again. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there's no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasm, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Theodore Roosevelt. Here we go. I didn't remember it like that, but I remember the message of it, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Now let's talk about relationships. It's 10:30 because I'm going to go into the Players Club. It is my job, it is my task, it is my duty, by choosing the position, to teach men how to be men in regards to women the way I am. Like I am the greatest that ever lived. And I'll say it just like Muhammad Ali, and I'll show it, and I'll knock him out round after round after round. And I'll accept any challenger, anywhere, anytime. I can do it anywhere, anytime. Got it? And I'll win again. So listen carefully. This guy is telling you that learning how to deal with women as a man, next, right under knowing God, is the most important thing in your day today. Fuck your job, fuck your family, fuck whatever the fuck you got going on. You are suffering 24 hours a day from a lack of women. Obed is suffering, Yvonne is suffering, Ryan is suffering, Labu fucking Shes is suffering, Chip is motherfucking suffering. When you're good looking and sharp like that and you're here, you must be suffering to not be around me. Don't want you around me anymore. You guys get it together. You're weak. Weak. This is not a weak team. If I was a weak team, I wouldn't be here screaming my voice off to the world every fucking day, and I'm still motherfucking here, and you speak one sentence of mine worldwide, and you won't be here tomorrow. You have so much trouble. You have so much fucking trouble from your own fucking bullshit ass, fake ass families, your bullshit ass, fake ass friends, bullshit ass, fake ass jobs. You live a bullshit ass, fake ass existence, motherfucker. So burn in your fucking hell. I'll see you in the next class.